So, if you've ever dealt with bonds, you know there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Well, there's one particular mechanism that's absolutely crucial for making sure every single transaction is fair. It's called accrued interest. And in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what it is, how it works, and why it's so important.
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You own a bond. You've held onto it for 5, almost 6 months, and you get 0 interest for your time. Then you sell it, and the new owner holds it for just a couple of weeks, and bam, they get the entire 6-month interest payment. I mean, that sounds totally unfair, right?
Well, believe it or not, this isn't some crazy hypothetical. This exact situation could happen all the time. See, bonds are traded every single day, but they usually only pay out interest, a couple of times a year. So that creates a real potential for unfairness. How on earth does the market solve this?
Well, the solution is actually pretty simple and, kind of elegant. It's this concept called accrued interest. This is the key that unlocks the whole fairness problem and makes sure everyone gets what they're owed.
So what is it exactly? Simply put, accrued interest is all the interest that's been building up day by day since the last coupon payment was made. It's money the bond has technically already earned for its owner, it just hasn't been officially paid out yet.
And here's how it works in the real world. To make everything fair, when you sell the bond, the buyer pays you, the seller, that accrued interest right then and there, at the time of the sale. This way, you get paid for the exact number of days you held the bond. Then later, when the big 6-month coupon payment comes, the new buyer gets to keep the whole thing. Because, remember, they've already paid you back for your share. See, it all balances out?
Okay, so that's the what and the why. But how do we actually figure out that exact dollar amount? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and look at the actual formula.
The formula is really just built from 3 main ingredients. The first piece of the puzzle is the bond's par value. You might also hear this called its face value or principal amount. It's basically what the bond will be worth when it finally matures.
Next up, ingredient number 2, the coupon rate. This is the fixed annual interest rate that the bond pays. It's set in stone when the bond is first created, and it doesn't change.
And the final and maybe most important piece is the time period. Now you gotta pay close attention here. This is the exact number of days starting from the day after the last interest payment all the way up to and including the day the sale is settled.
Now let's pause for a second because this is where people can get tripped up. 2 really important things to remember. First, the calculation is always based on the bond's par value, its face value, not the price you actually paid for it. Second, you always use the fixed coupon rate in the formula, not the bond's current yield, which, can fluctuate with the market. Getting these 2 details right is absolutely critical.
And here it is, the whole shebang. When you put all those pieces together, this is what you get. It's the par amount times the annual coupon rate times the little slice of the year that the seller actually held the bond. That's it.
Theory is one thing, but let's be honest, seeing it in action makes it so much easier to understand. Let's walk through a step-by-step example to make this crystal clear.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We've got a bond with a $300,000 par amount and a coupon rate of 8%. We know the last interest payment was on March 15th, and the sale of the bond settles on May 9th. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to figure out the accrued interest.
First things first, we've got to calculate that time period. We start counting the day after the last payment, so March 16th. That gives us 16 days in March. Then we add the entire month of April, so that's another 30 days. And finally, we count up to and including the settlement date, which adds 9 days in May. So you add them all up, and you get a grand total of 55 days.
Now we just have to plug our numbers into that formula we talked about. So, step 1, we take our par amount of $300,000. Step 2, we multiply that by the coupon rate, 8% or 0.08. And for the final step, we multiply that by our time fraction, which is 55 days out of 365.
You run the math, and there's our answer, $3,616.44. That's the amount of accrued interest the buyer pays the seller when the deal closes. It's the exact amount of interest the bond earned over those 55 days, making sure the seller gets paid fairly for their time. Pretty neat, huh?
So we've gone from a tricky problem to the simple solution to the actual math behind it.
Let's just wrap this all up and boil it down to the most important takeaways for you as an investor.
If you walk away with just 3 things, make it these. Rule number 1, accrued interest is all about one thing, fairness. Rule number 2, for the calculation, you always use the bond's par value, not what you paid for it. And rule number 3, you always use the fixed coupon rate, never the market yield. Get those 3 down, and you've got this.
You see, accrued interest is just one of those cool, behind-the-scenes rules that makes the whole financial world tick smoothly.